How you doing? This is Barry, That Goat Metal Show with the weekly recap. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week as we march on towards July. All right, man. Hope everybody's doing good, man. Yesterday, I just finished filming the Gourmantis giveaway part 2, so that's going to be up at 12 noon. Probably by the time you guys see this video, it'll already be up. Congratulations to the winners. I won't mention it if you haven't seen it yet. So there you go, man. Congratulations. We got, instead of 2 prizes, I inserted 3, and we got 3 winners out of it. So make sure you guys go and just keep your ears open and for some Gourmantis stuff. Also, don't forget, man, go on to the Bandcamp, man. We got some new merch there, some new stuff. Plus, we got the Fomorian Productions releases on cassette and CD. And plus, make sure you go on to elasticStage.com and go and pick up freaking vinyl. All right? So that's pretty much it, man. So let's get into some news. All right. Ended frontman Akil Godse has officially broken the silence regarding the highly publicized Banana Man incident. This is the band that keeps on giving. All right, he addressed the situation via video statement on his personal Instagram account. The controversy sparked earlier this month when Godse called a showgoer dressed in a banana costume to front of the stage using highly aggressive language that led to significant online backlash and the band seamlessly being dropped from a tour. All right, Godse did not offer an apology to those offended by the interaction. He defended the band's behavior, stating, "We're a hardcore band. We do hardcore things." He expressed amusement towards people saying that they were disappointed in him, pointing out that their very first song he ever wrote for Ended, Give Up, features incredibly dark and extreme instructional lyrics. The fans' intent. Godse implied that concertgoer was explicitly looking for attention by wearing the banana costume, adding, "Now you got it." Again, dude, whatever reason you put into there still does not fucking warrant you instructing a crowd of people to go and attack another person. I don't give a fuck. All right, and you using that you're a hardcore band doing hardcore things. That's not hardcore, bro. That's not hardcore. All right, even up here in New York, we know that's not hardcore. Granted, it is a very violent form of music, and people doing violent things and so on. And there's a lot of lyrics that talk about violent things, like basically. So what you're saying in that first song you did, you was instructing somebody, so you really wanted somebody to go out and kill themselves in the woods. Is that what you're saying? So basically what you're saying is that was your intent when you wrote that song, instead of it having some type of meaning, right? Come on, dude. You think you're talking to a bunch of fucking little kids, and basically, since you have, the same thing where you preach about anti-this, fascism, the government and Israel and all this other shit, right? But there you go, going up against somebody just because they decided to wear a banana costume. Yo, dude, go on stage, play your fucking music, and let everybody just enjoy it. Let the crowd dictate what they want to do to Banana Man. That had nothing to, you should not even fucking put your anything into that. All right? That is ridiculous. That's not what a band does. So get over yourself. All right? I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous. And most of the people who I've spoken to over here in New York, and especially prominent hardcore bands, and people, we all talked about it, and we all said the same thing. That is not hardcore. All right? Go to any person from a hardcore band. They'll tell you that is not hardcore. And for the people defending that shit, you're just a sheep. All right? You're a sheep. You're basically following the bullshit that he says just to justify the actions of what, come on. I'm done with it. All right, now we go into the world of Murphy's Law. And then, after continuing what was being said, with Ended thinking hardcore band doing hardcore things, we show you what Murphy's Law, which is an old school original hardcore band, does, all right? There's a Murphy's Law concert scheduled for June 23rd at the Tafita Music Hall in Lowell, Massachusetts. It was canceled right before the band was set to perform. All right, the venue announced that an incident occurred outside the venue before the band went on stage. Tafita Music Hall and the Lowell Police Department was actively reviewing the video footage to investigate the situation.
I think everyone should just, we'll make up for this, but it's not safe, and I'm responsible for all of you, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. So I apologize. It's beyond my control, obviously, but when 15 or 20 dudes are beating the fuck out of people and putting them in ambulances, I'm worried about all of you, and I don't want you to leave here to get jumped or anything. So while it's daylight, and safe enough to leave, I want you guys to leave and get home safely. So I apologize.
Management emphasized that safety remains their top priority and confirmed that all tickets for the show will be refunded. All right, so with that being said, okay, my man went up on stage. You know, he wants to make sure that the fans are safe. They want to go in there, have a good time. All right, it's about the community and making sure everything is good with people within that community who go to enjoy these shows. All right, that's a fucking hardcore band. All right, get that shit straight. That's a fucking hardcore band. All right, so you know they got to stop that shit already. They really do. All right, so you know, kudos to Murphy's Law, representing the right way what hardcore truly is. All right, and then continuing also with the, you know, I guess with everything spiraling and going down that hole, Harley Flanagan, you know, from the Cro-Mags, I guess, you know, everything that's been transpiring, it drew to his attention as well. This is what he said on a Facebook post. So I guess there's a war brewing in a hardcore again these days. You know, stupid versus stupid. Well, hopefully stupid loses this time and the rest of us can go back to having a good time. And all the tough guys can start fighting MMA, join the army, or go fight real gangs like Bloods and Latin Kings, etc. And let people have fun at shows. People forget that there was a lot of years that we couldn't do a hardcore show in New York because of all the dumb shit. Who suffered? The bands and the fans. All right, now we go into Vengeance Fest 7 being canceled. All right. The Heavy Metal Music Festival was officially canceled by its original venue, the Whistler Club in Garfield, New Jersey, but organizers are shifting the event to a secret, undisclosed location within the state. The two-day festival was scheduled to run from Friday, June 26th through Saturday, June 27th. However, the Whistler Club pulled the plug on the concert on Wednesday after community backlash and a formal warning from the Garfield Police Department. Okay. Authorities revealed that several scheduled bands had ties to white supremacist, national, socialist, black metal, and anti-Semitic ideologies. The club's board explicitly stated they were misled during the booking process. Festival promoter Kyle Ball of Kep Productions reportedly supplied a promotional poster where neo-Nazi and white supremacy imagery, such as swastikas and Black Sun, symbolizes utilized by bands like Rom and Nocturne, has been scrubbed out. Once the final unedited imagery and band background surfaced, the venue immediately canceled the rental. All right. Okay, look. Again, you know, for this stuff happening here in the United States is, you know, look, I'm not here saying that, you know, promote white supremacy, promote hate and all that. But again, you know, especially with the thing with the imagery, because that's pretty much what it was. I think it was more of the imagery than anything. Then they went down the rabbit hole. I guess they started doing some really, because let's be honest, who the fuck really pays attention to some of these black metal bands, except for some organizations that go in depth? People in these areas don't give a shit. And let's be real, some of these areas, I'm not promoting none of this fucking hate or whatever. You go and it's a free country, sing whatever the fuck you want to sing about. The people who go and they pay and then they go into these festivals or whatever, they come and they bring money. They bring money to your towns and stuff. And I get it. Sometimes, but we don't want to be associated with all this hate. Look, man, again, free country, man. But, you know, look, I get it. You know, and look, and I saw some of the that black wheel and the Nazi symbol, I think, supposedly in there. I think the way, I mean, look, I was talking to Rich about it. I said I saw the symbol that supposedly is the swastika. I think when I went and I dug up what that supposed swastika was, it was, I think, called the Viking Sun or something like that. Yeah, I think it was called the Viking Sun, and it's basically more round-ended off the swastika that Germany used with the party. So I don't know, man. Look, whatever, man. Yeah, they're gonna play, and people are still gonna go watch them. You know, and there's also, it gets me too, because you go to a fucking place like this and they're saying, okay, they're going after these people for you know, neo-Nazi stuff or whatever. I'm sure that they had groups who talk about killing cops, you know, destroy white people, you know, whores and all this other stuff that go through there. And I mean, you could go and dig through that stuff, and that's fine. That's fine. But hey, man, look, it is, man. you know, if there's gonna be hate, let hate roam on all sides, not just one. All right, and we go into the world of Napalm Death. All right, with some news about Shane Embry and his health. The Napalm Death bassist has been battling pancreatitis, a severe and painful inflammation of pancreas that has forced him to miss several recent touring commitments. All right, Embry recently revealed in an interview that he has been hospitalized 3 times due to the condition. He candidly linked his pancreatitis to alcohol dependency. He noted that while he stopped drinking for a long time, the habit crept back in over the last few years alongside other personal stressors. The illness previously forced him to leave a tour with Melvin's early due to serious health concerns. All right. Currently, Embry has reported that he is currently in much better place, both mentally and physically, to support his long-time recovery and well-being. He has taken the following actions. He's joined AA, and he stepped back to assess his highly demanding touring schedule. He's focused his energy on mental health, physical healing, and spending time with his family. Yeah, man, you know what? I mean, look, if he still has a chance to help himself and make sure that he's good and there's no issues with his health, to me, that's number one, man, Shane. Look, the music will always be there. I know it's part of your legacy. I know people want to see you on stage and stuff, but it's about you living first, brother. It's about you living first. It's about your health. Always think about that. Health first. All right, now we finally got some metal bochinche. All right. In a June 2026 interview, former Judas Priest frontman Tim Ripper Owens criticized Judas Priest business management while comparing them to their heavy metal peers, Iron Maiden. Owens used the crowd size comparisons to argue that Iron Maiden handles their band with far more class, marketing strategy, and long-term planning than Judas Priest. All right. According to Owens, the disparity in ticket sales and crowd sizes stems from several key management and business decisions. All right. Owens emphasized that Iron Maiden embraces its entire history by performing songs from the Blaze Bayley era because they wrote them. They did it. Conversely, he claims Judas Priest has intentionally erased his era, Jugulator and Demolition, by leaving those albums off streaming services and refusing to play songs live. All right. Owens pointed out that when Iron Maiden was inducted and they insisted that former vocalist Blaze Bayley be included into the induction. When Judas Priest was inducted in 2022, Owens claimed their stance was officially absolutely not Ripper not going in. So basically, let's be real, I think he's been salty. He's been salty about the fact that Priest has not gave him his due when he did those 2 albums with them. And let's be real. I mean, Jugulator, I love fucking Jugulator. That is a fantastic album. I thought that was, you know, one of the best. To me, is next to Painkiller, I look at Jugulator as my 1 and 2, to be honest with you. I love Jugulator. I think that's a great fucking album. And, you know, I guess after all this time, you know, we finally get the real feelings of Ripper Owens, how he feels about what Judas Priest did. And I think that's really fucked up. And yeah, and he's right. You know, I've noticed that Maiden has no problem putting out those Blaze Bayley songs. Bruce Dickinson sings those songs live. It was part of their thing. When Bruce got into the mix, they didn't, you know, they still did the first 2 albums with no problem, all right, you know. All right, so that's all I got right now. I'm gonna send it over to Rich, the silent producer, to see what he has. Take it over, Rich.
Saturday, September the 5th at the Meadows in Brooklyn, New York, the return of DRI live. November the 16th at the Brooklyn Paramount, it will be Sleep live. November the 5th, Material World presents at TVI the return of Old Tower. Out this week, the latest release from Nunslaughter titled Satanic Chaos Legions, coming in at 34 minutes with 14 tracks.